y'all, I'm Riley. Welcome to Riley's Craft Workshop. Today we are making beehives. We need a couple different materials for this project. We need bubble wrap. We need white paper. So probably not computer paper, but any kind of painting paper you have, perfect. We also need scissors, a black marker or a black crayon, of course some paints, whatever colors you want to use, and a tray for your paints. I'm just using a paper plate. Oh, and I almost forgot, you also need some yellow paper about the size of a Post-it. So if you don't have yellow paper, that's fine. We can just use the same white paper that we're gonna use to paint on, and I'll show you what to do with that. We also need some paintbrushes. Now, these little foam brushes, if you have any, are gonna work great. If you don't have any of these, just a bigger paintbrush with a bigger bristles at the top works great. So since we're painting today, the first thing you're gonna do is put on a smock. I have this awesome apron that one of my kids' grandparents got for me. It says, "The earth without art is just which is very true. So you're gonna wanna put on something to protect your clothes today. Maybe it's a shirt you just don't really care if you get paint on it, or it's your dad's old dress shirt and you put it on backwards. Whatever you might wear to usually paint, go put it on and then come back. All right, now that we're dressed for painting, we're gonna get started. So we're gonna put some little dollops of paint on our paint tray or our paper plate, and we're gonna be painting right onto our bubble wrap. Now, I know it's super fun to pop the bubbles, but we actually need the bubbles to be unpopped to make our beehives today. So we're gonna try really hard not to pop these bubbles, but I know that's hard. So if you have any extra bubble wrap right now and you wanna get it all out of your system, go ahead and pop that right now. All right, it's out of my system. Now I can paint on my bubble wrap and try really hard not to pop the bubbles. So we are going to use our paintbrush, and I decided that I kind of want a rainbow colored beehive. I know that's not really what beehives look like in real life, but you can use whatever paints you want. If you only like purple and you just want to use different colors of purple, go for it. So maybe I'll start with some blues, and I'm gonna be super gentle, because I don't want to pop these bubbles. I want them to stay unpopped, and I want to try to paint just on the tops of the bubbles. Can you see how there's no paint in between the bubbles there? I just want to paint on the top. And maybe I'll get some green and put that next to the blue. It's okay if they're mixing together a little bit, that's fine. And I'm gonna switch paintbrushes because I don't want to get my green all into my red. So I'm gonna use 2 paintbrushes today. If you don't have 2 paintbrushes, you can always just wash them at the sink or get a water cup. And I'm gonna paint some red, and I'm gonna get some yellow. Might turn a little orange because I just had red on my brush, and that's pretty cool too. Did you know that red and yellow mixed together make orange? I bet you learned that at school. All right, I put my paint to the side so it won't get in my way, and I'm gonna take my white piece of paper and I'm gonna very gently put it down on top of my bubble wrap. Now, if I slam down on my bubble wrap, it's gonna break the bubbles, and that's not what I wanna do. So I'm gonna very gently use the palms of my hands to rub the paper, but not burst the bubbles. Very gently, almost like I'm petting a brand new puppy and I don't want to hurt him. So I'm just very gently petting his fur. We want all the paint to stick to the paper, but we don't want the bubbles to pop. But if you accidentally pop a couple bubbles, don't worry about it. All right. Are we ready to see what we made? You're gonna slowly pull your paper up, carefully, gently. Whoa. Mine looks so cool. I can't wait to see what your guys look like. So remember I said we needed some yellow paper that's about the size of a Post-it note. I had you cut these squares small so that we can draw and take up the entire square when we're making our bee. So we don't want to draw a teeny tiny bee on our paper. We want to take up the whole thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a circle. And I can go ahead and color it in. The next thing I'm going to do is draw an oval from the circle that goes all the way to the bottom of the paper. Then I'll go ahead and draw his little antennas. They're just two little curved lines like that. And if you want, you can put two more little circles at the top. And then what else does a bee need? He needs some stripes on his body. So I'm going to draw a couple curved lines on his body and color those in. And I'll do another one and color those in. Now, I don't love bees. I know they're important, but they scare me a lot. So I'm not gonna draw a stinger on mine, but if you wanted to draw a stinger, you could draw a triangle down on his butt right there. And he still needs wings, so I'm gonna right between where his head and his body meet together, I'm gonna start there, and I'm gonna draw a sideways oval that time. And I'm gonna do one more starting right between where his head and his body meet together. Draw another sideways oval all the way to the edge of the paper. My wings are a little lopsided, but that's okay. So now I have my bee. You're gonna take your pairs of scissors, and we're gonna try really hard to cut around our bee. We don't have to cut right on the lines, we can just cut around them. That side. And this side. Now, I really wish that I was with you guys in person, but the cool thing about a video is that if you feel like you're falling behind, you can pause it, you can rewind it. If you missed what I was doing, if you feel like you messed up and you want to make another bee, just cut another piece of paper. Oh, and if you didn't have any yellow paper, that's fine too. You can just use your white piece of paper, and you can use a black and a yellow crayon to draw your bee. The antennas can be a little tricky here. All right, so there's my bee. Now, I bet your paper isn't dry yet, but since I have TV magic, I have one that I made a while ago. So if your paper isn't dry yet, just go ahead and pause the video, and once it's dry, you can come back. Now the first thing that we're gonna do is use a hexagon shape to cut our paper into beehive shapes. Now, I just realized when I made mine that I made it into an octagon, which has 8 sides, when a hexagon has 6. So that was my mistake. So I made a new template, and I'm using a Pop Secret popcorn box. So if you want to have somebody help you draw a template like this that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can see I messed mine up a little bit. Doesn't matter. So we are going to take our dry piece of paper. We're going to put our popcorn box down on top of it like this. And we're going to use a pencil to trace. Actually, I'm going to use my black marker so that it's easy for you guys to see the lines. But I recommend using a pencil. And do you see how I put it all the way over in the corner? So I'm going to be able to make more than one out of this one piece of paper. So I'm going to take my time tracing around here. And let's see if I can fit another one on here. Not quite, but you guys might be able to fit more on here. Maybe I'll make an even smaller one to use up the rest of that paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut out, I'm using these big person scissors. You guys should use your small little kid scissors. And I'm gonna do my best to cut out my beehives here. So now, to finish it off, I'm gonna take some fun colored paper. 2 can fit on here. I'm gonna use my glue stick. If you have Elmer's glue, you can use that too. And I'm gonna go around the edges. And then put an X in the middle. Around the edges. X in the middle. Make sure I put my cap back on my glue stick so it doesn't get dried out. And I don't want to put it all the way to the edge because the whole point of putting it on here is to make a border. This fun colored border. And now I'm going to cut them so that I leave a little border around the edge. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can put them all together like they're a beehive. Here's my other one that doesn't really fit because I made it the wrong shape, but that's okay. But you can put all yours together like this and use different color backgrounds. So last but not least, I need my bee. And I'm gonna put some more glue on the bottom of it. And I'll decide where I wanna put him. And I'll press down so he stays on there. And there we go. My beehive's done. Oh, one more thing, we always wanna sign our artwork, so I'm gonna put my name on the bottom. And I'm gonna write Riley. So we always want to sign our artwork. There we go, our beehives are done. I would love if you guys would send me some of your beehives so I can see pictures. You can find me on Instagram at Riley's Craft Workshop or on Facebook at Riley's Craft Workshop. Please post your beehives. I really want to see all of your creative artwork. Thanks for doing art with me today.